Yes, sir, it is visible.
It is visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right, right. So let me go to the first one. Now tell me. Hmm? Is it visible? Am I
Yes,
audible?
yes. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Because one disadvantage of Google Meet is that I can't see you people while presenting, right? So, Alika sir, you have my number. So in case the connection goes off, kindly let me know on the mobile. Huh?
Definitely,
I'll
sir.
be fine. Hmm? So this is the slight uh, disadvantage here, but it's okay. So yeah, formal welcome to all of you. My name is Umesh Arya. I'm a teacher in media studies here in the Department of Mass Communication, GJU. And the topic, as you all know, it's media literacy, right? So media literacy, I'm very sure that people who have already come delivered lecture, they have shared something with you. So my endeavor would be to share something very differently, because I'm a firm believer of the knowledge which is slightly different from the normal one, right? Okay, so let's start from the very scratch. uh, Whatever concept we learn, we must first focus on the definition, right? So, media literacy is what? It's the skill to gain access, right, to the media, to interpret and critically evaluate the different aspects of the media and its content, right? So there is no need to remember this definition as such. Just focus on the red letters. That it is a skill to gain access. Do we have the skill to gain access to the media? Now, this term is slightly slightly enigmatic for the reason that we all have access to media, right? We all have access to media, but we don't have the skill to really access the media, right? Because that's something very different, and we will talk about in a moment. And then is to interpret and critically evaluate. Now this is the most important part of the media literacy. How do you interpret and evaluate the different messages? I tell you, uh, today is the most crucial time where we can apply media literacy in our lives, because lot the planet is passing through such a bad phase. Israel Hamas war, and religious polarization, and Ukraine, Russia, and whatnot, many others, right? So there is a potent chance that media will be exploiting all of us by its messages. Only how, if you know how to interpret and critically evaluate the messages, only then we will be true media literate people, right? And one notable thing about media literacy is that if you have taken some kind of practical training or practical orientation like this, only then we can be sure of that, okay, we know how to critically evaluate the messages. Otherwise, it's such a slippery floor that fake media knows how to pass its message through you, and you will definitely believe it. So media literacy is the need of the hour. Let's first establish something that why we need to know about this, huh? So there is a study actually, and these are the 2 points from the study I have selected. The study says that falsehood diffuse significantly farther, faster, deeper, and more broadly than truth. अगर आप देसी भाषा में बोलो है अपना हिंदी में, तो जो झूठ है वो सच से ज़्यादा तेज चलता है, ज़्यादा दूर तक जाता है और ज़्यादा अंदर तक जाता है लोगों के, और लोग उसको बिलीव करते हैं। ओके, कितना? 6 times faster. ये it has been established by the research. 6 times faster move करता है falsehood than truth. And out of this falsehood, out of this fake information, there is one particular category. What is that category? False political news. This is specialized category within the misinformation of the fake news, which travels even faster than the other categories, right? So our media, our life is based on the democracy, social, political institutions. So when we are not able to distinguish the genuine political news from the fake one, it means it is going to harm our democracy, right? So इसके बगैर लाइफ अभी तक चल रही थी, बट शायद आगे ना चले, इस करके we need to know about the media literacy. As I said, today is the right time to learn about media literacy, and it was never ever before as such, because the media was not that much prominent earlier. In our times, like 30 plus years back when we were students, so there were very few information sources, and mostly they were genuine sources, right? So there was no question of any misinformation, any fake news, or any propaganda coming to our in the newspapers or in our lives. But right now, though, it's reverse, right? There are there are many news channels, WhatsApp information, Facebook, Twitter, this, that. So out of this, it's very few, very few information pieces they are credible, right? And the fake news or the misinformation is afflicting now the mainstream media also, like Dainik Jagran, right. So I mean, situation is totally reversed, and it is a lifetime. It is the right time to know about media literacy. So it is better to know now. Okay, so let's have some definition part of it, and at the end of the lecture we will have a small quiz kind of thing, where you will be asked these questions. So kindly look at these concepts carefully. And since we are in the academic, so academicians, they are really after the definitions of the concepts, right? So misinformation. So in simple terms, when you forward something unintentionally, right? When you don't know that this news is fake, it's the propaganda, or it's not the genuine news, right? But you don't know, right? And you pass it on to other people unintentionally. That is misinformation, right? So that's why we are not using the term fake news now, because if something is fake, it can't be news, and if something is the news, it can't be fake, right? So even the practical field, people are using misinformation than fake news, because most of the information is spread unintentionally, right? And what is disinformation? It is exactly opposite to misinformation, right? It's an intentional dissemination. Mostly it is done by political parties, IT cells, ideological, groups and all that. Disinformation, जान के किया जाता है, right? And there is third category. So people, they don't know about this third category, but it's very important actually. So in malinformation, information is genuine, everything is genuine, but the same information is presented to you with a different spin, right? A different angle, so that the original intent of the information is lost and a new truth is created, right? So, for example, we are see, I'm having this safa on my head now, and I'm delivering the lecture in the Haryana outfit, right? Okay. So, if you click my photo, right, and if you present to the vice chancellor, see, you are calling such people that who don't know how to dress up nicely in a corporate lecture like this. Are you getting my point? What I'm saying, huh? Now, you have created another truth, isn't it? Which is simply not the truth. So that is malinformation. Let me come back to my malinformation part of it. So it is actually done to harm the religious groups or socially disadvantaged people. So obviously it is intentional. It's a part of the disinformation concept, but it's very very dangerous actually, because as far as misinformation or disinformation is concerned, you can easily debunk that, right? But malinformation is very hard to debunk. That's why it's a dangerous thing. Okay. So don't worry, these are a few slides I will be explaining, but the real thing, the real practical part we'll do after these slides. And it's a matter of fact just now that okay, we should be uh, questioning our own thinking in the first place, that why we should believe the fake information. Yeah, why we are not able to distinguish between the right information and the wrong information, right? So you can look at these two circles. The first circle is having facts and evidences, right? ये बिल्कुल सच इंफॉर्मेशन है. एंड ऑन द राइट साइड, दिस सर्कल रिप्रेजेंट्स आवर बिलीफ्स, राइट? हमारा जो मान्यताएं हैं, हमारे हमें सोचने का तरीका है, तो दिस सर्कल रिप्रेजेंट्स दैट. सो it is an ideal situation where people will believe facts and evidences, right? People normally don't, right? Okay, what information they believe? So at this point, when these two circles they cross each other, na, this central point, this is the place where people believe facts and evidences, because it tallies with their own belief system, right? देसी भाषा में बोलें तो जो जो फैक्ट और जो सच आपके बिलीफ से, जो आपकी सोच से टैली करता है ना, जो मेल खाता है, आप उसी को स्वीकार करेंगे। यस और नो? होता है ऐसे हमारे साथ? कैन आई हैव सम आंसर्स प्लीज? हाँ, डज इट हैपन? It happens actually, right? So the interpretation is that now the facts and evidences per se they don't have their value. It's only our belief system, right? कि हम तो ये accept करेंगे, right? So now in this case, the situation becomes very difficult, right? Because we have been brought up in a scenario where we have been taught to like or dislike many things, right? We have our own ideology, beliefs, and so many already made up beliefs, right? And then if some fact tallies with that, then it is a fact. Otherwise, if it doesn't tally, it's not a fact, right? So that's the main psychological interpretation of it. Okay, so let's see in which ways, right? The misinformation is coming to you, and the media literacy is needed, ever before, right? More than ever before. So disinformation, as I told you, that it is the deliberate spreading of the wrong information, right? So this is the way. Then emotional appeal. Through this appeal, propaganda people they exploit your emotions. For example, so you must have seen many YouTube videos, the advertisement there, right, where people are raising money in the name of the orphanages, and they show the pictures of the kids crying and in a very bad shape, and they are, the ashram wala people, they themselves are crying. So that's emotional appeal that we infuse into the message, and they want to extract the money out of you, right? Cherry picking data, selectively presenting the data or statistics that will support their own narrative, right? So if you are having tons of the evidence, then you will cherry pick, you will select the data selectively so that it conveys your point. Yes or no? So these are the ways through which media people they try to fool us, right? Misleading headline is the one. So headlines, I have done a major research project on the headlines. So there people say that headlines are very, costly to collect, costly to write, and very dangerous to publish. Right? So headlines are as if somebody is screaming. People normally read headlines only if the matter is so long, because it's an information overload world. So headlines are important, more important than ever before, right? Because they are in big fonts and color fonts, and so many words are used. So if you write sensational and misleading headlines, they grab attention immediately, and people they don't read the text inside that much, right, as they do the for the headlines, right? So misleading headlines are also published, and I can show it to you right now. If you open your YouTube and you just type Israel Hamas war, right, you will get so many videos of Desi Godi media channels, right? So many videos there कि उनका हिंदी में बोलते हैं वो कि मोदी ने अपनी सेना उतारी, राइट? ये हेडलाइन है, राइट, वीडियो का। मोदी ने अपनी सेना उतारी। मोदी ने कहाँ सेना उतारी है भाई? कहीं नहीं। रशिया ने अपने युद्ध में आने का ऐलान किया, अब होगा विश्व युद्ध। ये इस टाइप की हेडलाइंस यू कैन गेट सो मेनी, राइट? So this is the way which the misinformation is conveyed to us. Okay, let me go to the next one. Yeah. Then conspiracy theories are promoted even by the respectable people like uh, US president. Recently he said, okay, Hamas Hamas murdered 40 people, 40 kids in Israel raid. which the figure even Israeli army did not confirm, right? But US president is telling that very openly, right? Now he's saying that there's one particular corridor, right, which is passing through, which will pass through east west, the middle, west Asia, and then through Iran and through Israel, uh, which were decided in the recent G20 meeting in India. So now he's saying that okay, that may be one of the reasons that Hamas attacked, and Hamas is, supported by Iran and maybe China and Russia, and they don't want that corridor to be successful. These are the conspiracy theories promoted even by the world respected leaders. Okay, so echo chambers. Now, this is another way where media, shares misinformation, and it keeps you in a particular chamber, right? And you are not able to think beyond that. For example, if you go to Facebook or YouTube, if you watch a particular video, then the future recommendations, they will be as per the video you watch, right? And in Facebook, if you like some video or some post, then it will try to show the own voice will echo that I want to listen this, okay, it will come back to you. So you will not have any information or the conflicting opinion outside that. Am I making sense, Ashok sir and other? हाँ? Okay, right. आप बोर हो जाओ तो बता देना, मैंने एक दो हरियाणवी जॉक्स भी लेके आया हूँ आज, राइट? Okay. Then it what aboutism, right? I hope this word, this word, this is what aboutry or what aboutism. So this is a distraction strategy, where when you are confronted with the questions, uncomfortable question or the criticism, then you change the track of the discussion. You try to talk nonsense, like finding flaws in others, and discussing some other issue, and dominating the discussion by irrelevant things. So this is what aboutism. So this is also one of the uh, tricks which media, particularly news channels, they apply, right? So that the real information is, it is kept secret, and only you are bombarded with the wrong information. What about this? Right. And now this is very new actually. You must note this word, ad hominem attacks. What are these? So, attacking the character or motives of individual or groups rather than addressing the substance of their arguments, right? So, it happens so often in India, especially because whenever a particular political party raises some uncomfortable issue, the other party is ready with some explosive evidence about the other, the questioning party, right? So in this tutu meme, and this is the arguments, counter arguments, the main thing is lost, right? Because everybody is now attacking other, the motive of the other individuals, other political party, or the characters, etc. And the main issue that is gone, right? The main issue is gone. So when people talk about Adani and the higher coal price, which we are able to, we have to pay, just because the coal is coming from Indonesia and reaching India, and in the transit it becomes 4 to 5 times costlier, right? So this argument is not now finding any takers anymore, because the moment somebody raises this issue, the propaganda party is ready to attack the questioning party with unnecessary things, the motives of that, character of that, right? So this is one of the ways where the truth is kept suppressed, right? So this is known as ad hominem attacks. Okay. Then selective sourcing. So actually, this is done by academic circles a lot in PhDs and research work. So we select only the sources which are as per our own convenience, and we just cite experts, that okay, he or she has said this, and when we just go to the reference and try to uh, find out, try to do some scrutiny, then the source is either missing, or it is not that much important or authoritative source, right? But it is done very credibly by media these days to discredit some person, and while citing some illogical sources, and people are believing it. Actually, I'm surprised. If you look at the uh, this war coverage now, Israel and Hamas, you will find so many nonsense kind of things, and people are anchors are there raising their voice, beyond proportions, and they are citing those uncredible nonsense sources, and nobody knows them, right? So this is also one of the source. Okay, then is another fake experts, right? So you present individual who are experts. Normally, this issue was raised. I don't know. Some NDTV was there or some other news channels. So people were appearing for the debates on Republic TV as far as Muslim issues were concerned. So they were mostly, I mean, they were usual people, right? They were not head of some particular institution, or they were not any authority on that Islam or Muslim issues, but they were freely being invited by the television channels just to fill the gap, right? So people sitting on the other side of the screen, they don't know they don't know the qualification of the person, and they just believe, okay, somebody is saying through television, oh, फिर तो ठीक ही होगा, right? So these kind of fake experts, they are everywhere in the academics too. Yeah. Then they take the help of astroturfing. Yeah. What is astroturfing? They say that, okay, grassroots support is there for this idea, whereas the truth is just opposite, right? So even NDTV also. I mean, I'm a critical media literacy person now, and I watch every channel. Even NDTV person is focusing only on the non BJP states. Sorry, BJP states, right? Like UP and MP. It never talks about other states because it finds so many things to report in these two states, right? And out of these states also, it just shows one or two instances, cherry picking again, and it says that, okay, people are feeling this way, but that may not tally with the whole gamut of the things, right? So that is astroturfing. Huh? Okay. Then is sensationalism. So exaggerating or dramatizing events. So that happens daily. I don't need to explain this much. Uh, you open any channel, you know, TV 18, TV 20, or whatever, all these, even the respected channels now, ask the ABP News and, Jagran was so already, yes, the official spokesperson of the university for so long, but many others, right? So I mean, they are just exaggerating, dramatizing, even in this pathetic situation of war, Israel Hamas war. They are day and night discussing what kind of arms Israel has, what kind of preparation Gaza has, what is the what is the hitting power of a particular uh, you know and all these irrelevant things, right? Just to sensationalize the things. I would like to take a pause here, and I would like to ask you something. Hmm? Okay, I'm stopping my share for the time being. Okay, so the matter of the fact is that Israeli army is not able to enter Gaza for the last 20 days now, right? Yeah, it is not able to enter, but it's the world's one of the finest armies. It has the backing of US, and it has got artificial intelligence arms, so many Iron Dome, this that. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि रियलिटी कुछ अलग हो, because we have been told the achievements of Mossad and Israeli army in a sensational manner, just to create an aura, right? That, okay, oh, this is a world sophisticated army. Why it is not able to enter? Any idea about that? They are planning to fit 20 days, they can't plan. 20 days is such a long time for even for any army, because supplies are also an issue, और expense बढ़ते जाते हैं उसके army के. But no, this has been sensationalized since so long, and the reality is something else. The army which could not find its own weapons usable even for a day. I mean, the 7 तारीख को अटैक हुआ था, 8th or 9th October, the US cargo plane came with the arms. Yes or no? I hope you know that. Well, just even for 1 or 2 days, they didn't feel secure, and till date they are not able to enter. What is this nonsense? This is sensationalism only, right? That you create an aura, you idealize something so that people just by the name of it fear. Okay, no, 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 right? So this is one of the ways where people create leaders aura. The media creates leaders aura. They denigrate that person beyond a limit, and they idealize the people, right? So this was actually they have taken this from Hitler's propaganda machine. So Hitler was a very good psychologist. Actually, people don't know, right? So if you watch the World War documentaries, World War First and Second, in World War Second documentaries available on YouTube and Netflix, what Hitler did that it pasted, Hitler's photograph everywhere in the Germany, in the billboards, in the poster, in the television channel, in radio, this, that, pamphlets, and all that, right? So that everywhere it was right. It was Hitler, just to sensationalize the achievements, because people then will start believing that, right? Because they don't have their choice, they don't have any option. Just make the thing sensationalize and then set the agenda, and people still will vote for Hitler despite knowing that they are living in the abject conditions, but they still will vote, right? So that's a Goebbels technique of propaganda. I'm sure that you must be reading that somewhere in the syllabus, Goebbels techniques. So things are actually different, and that's precisely where the misinformation starts to come in our lives. Again, I'm resuming my screen share. Okay. Yeah. I hope. Yeah. So this is sensationalism, bandwagon effect. What is bandwagon? Now create an aura where you make a viewpoint that okay, everybody else is believing this, and every other person is holding this opinion, and therefore majority is having the opinion. It's correct, right? So which is not the case. So everyone is saying most people believe these are the these are the sentences which lead to the bandwagon effect, and there is a term in psychology, and I'm not exactly remembering that, but that is crowd something, crowd mentality kind of thing. Hmm? Yeah, maybe crowd mentality. Yet everybody else is saying is true, right? So that is bandwagon effect. So media knows very well. Hmm? Confirmation bias. I think this is the last one. So in confirmation bias, the things, the propagandists, they know that okay, what people want to listen. They exploit the people's tendency to seek out information, which is as per their own beliefs and thinking, right? अभी मैंने दो सर्कल्स दिखाए थे, उसका मीनिंग यही था कि आप उसी चीज को एक्सेप्ट करोगे जो आपके थिंकिंग से मैच करेगा, राइट? Isn't it? That's why people have different learnings from the same lecture. Yes or no? People, 30 people sitting here in the room will have different learnings from the same lecture. I am telling the same thing to everybody. Yes or no? Yeah. But people will have different opinion because they will listen to their confirmation bias. So teacher is one in the class, he or she teaches everybody, but still people are topper, they are middle rankers, they are lower rankers, and finally, and many people they get fail also, right? Because they use their own confirmation bias to listen to the same lecture, right? So media knows it very well how to exploit this. Huh? So let's see some practical examples very fast, and then we'll come to some quiz part and activity. Huh? So tobacco industry. So these are the practical examples of the concepts which I just shared, like astroturfing, bandwagon, etc. Right. So many of you may be knowing that in mid 20s, tobacco company Philip Morris, it's a very famous company. They downplayed the health risks of smoking, right? And they themselves funded research. So the research said there was no link between smoking and lung cancer. Right? I'm talking about 19 uh, mid 20th century. Huh? Yes. So I'm talking about now 1940, 50 kind of thing. Hmm? They use deceptive advertising also to maintain their market share. It means the truth was suppressed, isn't it? Research was employed to support this funding, suppose this idea. Now, this is simply playing with the facts, isn't it? Just giving the different spin to the truth. And they had to pay for it later on, right? They had to settle the case outside the US court for billions of dollars. Then there was the Iraq war. This was a company, now this is a government. US governments publicly acknowledged its failure, that okay, there was no WDM, weapon of mass destruction in Iraq, but they justified the invasion in 2003, and which was found to be based on faulty intelligence. Now, there is no faulty intelligence. The US people and all Western people are very smart. They know what it is, but they use this excuse of WDM to invade the country, right? So this was a misinformation, and it was used to garner public support of the war, isn't it? So initially people believed it, okay, fine, but afterwards when they came to know, then they had to publicly acknowledge, yes, okay, it was our mistake. Hmm? And now this is a media company. Now company, government, and media. Examples, they are quite different now. The Fox News channels have been accused many times, right, of promoting conservative bias. So it belongs to conservative people there, and it misleads, sensationalized coverage, and its handling of climate change and immigration issues. Because climate change is not in favor of the US economy, that's why they do it. And I can tell you personally, I was there in US in 2003, exactly 3 months, 3 months after when the Iraq war, it was, Iraq was invaded, right? Okay. So I was there in the University of Gainesville. I was sitting in the multimedia lab. So there they had very very big televisions, and all the channels were having their news. So Fox channel, what was saying that okay, see the bravery of the US soldiers. They have invaded this particular hideout and they have killed 3 terrorists, and see the bravery. I mean, their whole narrative was focused on the bravery of the US Army, right? Which bravery? Bravery for on whom? Innocent people. WMD was never found, and they just invaded for the oil, right? And not for the oil, but their economy is based on the war, right? Isliye US have to create war in any part of the world every 5 or 6 years, right? And they are happy about it. And that's why they dispatched the arms to Israel the very next day. They did not waste a minute, isn't it? So, so this is how a critical media literate person should think. He or she should think, okay, what is the need? Why Biden is so concerned about Israel? Huh? He did not support Ukraine that much. Hmm? But within 24 hours, it dispatched, cargo planes, and then it is saying, okay, Israel must allow the aid also. I mean, this is the contradictory statements. Once you are giving arms to the country to kill people, and then you are sending the aid. So, I mean, they want this strife, this war or conflicts to continue in some form or the other, because their economy is based on that, right? So once you know that, then you will be having a full knowledge of the things. Otherwise you will be shouting, you will be crying, and you will be you will be for Israel or after against, I mean, Hamas, right? Let's have an independent opinion, isn't it? So many of you may not know that Hamas people, they are living in these conditions for the last so many years. I think 50, 50, 60 years now. It was their own land which was occupied by Israel, and later on it expanded on the land unauthorizedly. So once you know this, then you will really come to know the true part of the story. Am I making sense, friends? हम्म? मैं कुछ ऐसी पुरानी रटी रटाई बातें तो नहीं कर रहा हूँ? लग रहा है आपको ऐसा कुछ? हम्म? ओके. Now come to Facebook, social networking company. So it is facing criticism for not doing anything to stop the spread of information. Rather, it fired its staff. Same for X earlier, which was known as Twitter, right? So, and recently, I think it's the yesterday's news. I think Meta has been sued by more than 35 states in the US that, okay, they have exploited the children's emotions, they have exploited the children's, uh, you know, mm, in many ways, and it has created addiction and earned money. Today newspaper, if you Dainik Bhaskar, you read that Western world, 30% of the people, 30, they are facing the mental health issues of the severe kind. Yesterday only, one gunman killed 22 people there. I hope you know that. Yes or no? Because it's a Western dominated world, so people know about these things. But in our country, we are having only 1 3%, 13% of the mental health people, uh, who have some issues, right? So, but nobody's talking about these issues. Why? And everybody is after Facebook, everybody is after Instagram, WhatsApp, in a deterministic way, as if that these things will make you a career. That's too partly. But the other side is nobody's talking about. Yes or no? So these people, the Facebook people, the social network companies, they just exploit us by giving the free things, right? So you don't need to pay for anything. Facebook, WhatsApp, Insta, blah blah blah, Tinder, whatever. You don't need to pay anything for that. So in simple management terms, when you don't need to pay anything, then you are the product, right? Yes or no? You are the product. Now you have to sacrifice your life because you are a product. The product doesn't have any entity of its own. It has to sell in the market. So your attention has to sell to Facebook to earn money. And that's precisely what is happening. So we should be having clear idea about these issues. Only then we can call ourselves a perfectly media. Now Russian disinformation campaign. So 2016, Trump became president. It was primarily Russian accounts in Facebook disseminated propaganda in those states where Trump was not having the lead, and in the states where their electoral weightage is more. I hope I am able to convey this electoral weightage. So in US, it doesn't happen that okay, one vote is equal to one vote. No, like in India, एक वोट मिल गया तो ठीक है, फाइन, एक ही काउंट किया जाएगा. No, there they have, for example, if a candidate gets 50 votes from particular state, so it will be multiplied by a certain number, right? And then those number of votes will be the actual votes. So Russian disinformation campaign is one very much prominent, and it is well documented. And you see, Trump was the most stupid, silly, idiot president the US had ever had. Yes or no? This was the disinformation. This was a practical example. And people believed. People, they did not have that kind of media literacy. And a survey during that time, even finding that okay, the major source of people news habits, they are from social media, right? And not from the social verified channels, authentic channels of the media houses. No, any information coming on the social media, and you know what kind of information is that. Then was Enron company. I hope you remember this. People of my age now, I am 50 plus. I'm talking about 30 years back now. So in 2000, Excuse me, somebody speaking. Uh, So, so Enron, it set up a plant in Maharashtra. It was a power plant, and I can tell you it was around 93, 92 or 93, right? Okay. So Maharashtra was power surplus state. Even then, the Enron was invited, and it packed up its bag after 4 5 years. And ultimately, the state lost much of the money. And Enron, since it was a US based company, so it misled the investors, employees, and regulators about the financial gains. And eventually it became a bankrupt company, right? So you see the media played what kind of the role. Nobody was informed that Maharashtra is power surplus state, or it is this kind of project is not needed. Way back in 93, 92, it was such a huge project, and ultimately it went to shambles. Now this is the last one. Uh, 19th and 20th century. Uh, these are a few journalists, Randolph Hearst and Joseph Pulitzer, New York World, were known for sensationalizing news stories to boost circulation, sometimes to the detriment of accuracy. सिंपल भाषा में इसका मतलब ये है कि ये जो जितने भी पुलित्जर प्राइज जो आप पढ़ते हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा रिस्पेक्टेड प्राइज है मीडिया वर्ल्ड में, न्यूयॉर्क जर्नल, न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स, और इस टाइप के जो हमें अगेन हमने आइडियलाइज कर रखे हैं इंफॉर्मेशन सोर्सेज, ये उतने भले नहीं हैं जितना हम लोग को बताया गया है. So they were known figure for sensationalizing the things for circulation. Accuracy was a casualty. Okay, accuracy doesn't mean anything, right? So these are the things. Now, when the media ecosystem is so perverted, what to do? Okay, so there's a simple formula. You can check the reliability of the information. Just give me 1 minute. Let me have a glass of water. Huh? Excuse me. Yes. Today I'm using the steel glass because today is Haryana Day. Yes or no?
Today is Haryana sir.
We are celebrating it actually.
Oh,
It is on, I think, which is the date? 30th to 31st. कब है अशोक सर हरियाणा डे? 1 नवंबर है ना शायद.
first week. First.
1 नवंबर छुट्टी है हमारे यहाँ, तो इस करके एनीवे. So, what is the reliability of the information, right? So, I'm not talking about any technical know-how. Uh, there are very few simple steps, right? And ultimately, in daily life, only these 3 4 steps you will be able to remember, right? So, the first one is who is behind this information. So, if you get some information from somewhere, pose the question number first. Question number one to that information: who can be behind that information? Right? If दैनिक जागरण publishes the fake news on the front page, जो कि इन्होंने छापा था अभी कुछ दिन पहले कि इंडिया इंडिया has conducted the second surgical strikes. Yes or no? I hope you know that. Yes? Huh? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm.
They have this.
दैनिक जागरण ने फ्रंट पेज पे, ठीक है, सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक सेकंड के नाम से इतना 8 कॉलम की इतनी बड़ी न्यूज छापी थी. टोटली फेक, शेमलेस एक्ट. And they did not even regret afterwards. But the moment it comes to you, then you must pose these 3 questions. First, who is behind the information? Who is behind the information means who can benefit from such a news? The ruling party. Simple. Okay. What is the evidence? Question number two: what is the evidence about this? Is there any evidence kind of thing? Does the media report says some facts? Are they really believable? Question number three: what do other sources say? So was it such a small news that no other media covered this? Hmm? So if you pose these three questions, now you will automatically come to know that it's a fake news. Or if it is not a fake news, then why the information has been presented now? For example, yesterday there was a news that eight of our Indian retired army officers, they have been handed over the death sentence in Qatar. Yes or no? Uh, so the case was hanging since August 2022. So why suddenly they have been, sentenced to that now? Even the government of India was caught unaware. They didn't know that okay, the sentence is going to be announced. Whereas it is a legal process, so no formality, no nothing is transparent. Nobody knows about the case. They have just been told that okay, you have been indulging in spying for Israel, and for that you need to leave this country. Okay, fine. They were on the airport. From there, they were arrested and they put behind bar in solitary confinement. Solitary confinement. Alag cell में, which is a very big thing. And then suddenly they were handed over this. So okay, so people are saying now the really brainy people, really media literate person. Okay, who can be? What can be the reason? Why? What is the remarkable correlation between the timing of this sentence and Hamas war or the G20 that corridor which is passing through? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so yeah, let me straighten my turban first. Okay. So Ashok sir, I will be sharing one link of a Google form. This is a quiz kind of link actually, in which they will be, filling that, taking the quiz. Just a minute, and they will be themselves knowing immediately after the quiz whether the uh, question is right, what marks they have got out of it. And just a minute, I think this is DJMC CUH batch, huh? 2024. But I'm not the admin. And only admin can send the message. So